Ja, ich bin's wieder, Käse nahe heran. Hier mit meinem Let's Play von Ace Attorney Investigations Prosecutor's Past. Und beim letzten Mal... Erstmal trinken, was ich vergessen habe. Ja, beim letzten Mal haben wir scheinbar, so wie es aussieht, jetzt den... zum letzten Mal mit Gregory gespielt und den Standpunkt soweit hier gebracht, dass es an dieser Stelle wieder komplett mit Miles weitergeht. Denn wir wissen ja schon aus den anderen Spielen, Erzählungen, dass ja, Gregory, wie gesagt, diese Verhandlungen verloren hat. Was halt dazu führt, dass Masters für schuldig befunden wurde. Aber was das jetzt hier mit dem jetzigen Fall zu tun hat in der Gegenwart? 2. April, 2:10 Uhr. Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Passion. And that's all Uncle Ray knows about the IS-7 incident. So that's what happened in my father's last case. The truth of the IS-7 incident. What happened at the trial? In the end, Von Karma defeated us. So you couldn't prove Mr. Master's innocence? We had gathered plenty of evidence to prove it. But Von Karma was even more despicable than we thought. Despicable, was auch immer. He was a prosecutor who would do anything for his guilty verdict. That's right, and he really did use any means necessary. Because of this, the trial dragged on for about a year, until it finally reached a conclusion. I'll never forget that fateful day, when the judgment was passed down, the 28th of December. It's April now, so it's been a little over 17 years. How time flies. The 28th of December, 17 years ago. I was watching from the gallery that day. Before the trial, the old man noticed that Mr. Master was acting strangely. He was at a breaking point, both mentally and physically. He wanted to be found guilty. No! Mr. Master didn't fake a confession, did he? Yeah. That was what Von Karma was aiming for from the start. When your old man tried to expose the fact that the body had not been found, Von Karma used the power of his police cronies to quash that argument. He even went as far as to prepare a fake autopsy report. Then, they made Mr. Master give a false testimony and confess to being an accomplice. With Mr. Master's confession, the situation quickly became dire. But your old man had a trump card up his sleeve. Was that the trump card he was talking to Detective Bat about? Yeah, that trump card was to be our insurance, in case Mr. Master confessed. He had asked Detective Bat to have Mr. Master's interrogation recorded. Detective Bat! Wanted to know the truth too, huh? After he was dropped from the investigation, he never stopped caring about the case. Even when he was involved with other large cases, he really was the definition of a true detective. The defense presented the recording, which proved that the confession was forced. Well, it seems the detective in charge of the initial investigation and interrogation, Rip Lacer, took all of the blame and was charged and dismissed. Still, at the trial, the old man exposed Von Karma's corruption and, Von Kama received his first penalty from the then Chief Prosecutor. The only penalty in his 40 years of prosecution. However, Mr. Master didn't want the trial to continue any longer, and the sentence closed on the trial that day with the verdict of guilty. My memory of that time is fuzzy, but I was also there, watching my father's final trial, and I think his final regrets became my own. Your old man wanted a retrial to prove Master's innocence, but he passed on before he could fulfill his wish. Und nochmal again? Weil von Kama! Dieses fucking Arschloch musste ihn ja umbringen! After getting entangled in another case. It breaks my heart even now that I didn't return home with him that day. And what's more, to blind myself from my own worthlessness. Uncle Ray put all of his hatred on you as a traitor for being Von Kama's pupil. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's natural you would hate me. After I became a prosecutor, I was able to get Von Kama to show me the case file. Mr. Master was found guilty for the murder of Isaac Dover. That's not right. Wasn't Mr. Master found guilty of being an accomplice? But this case file says guilty of murder. There shouldn't be anything unresolved in the case handled by Manfred Von Kama. Wait, can I take a look at that file? And looks like the charges have been rewritten. What? Look at this. His phone assigned to the same make for the suspect was led to his arrest. He was diagnosed with hypochondria and he was treated by medicine. On confession, he was convicted as an accomplice to the murder. The charge is accomplice to murder? This is a copy of the original case file I received from the courts. Why would the charge be altered? This file was given to you by Von Kama, right? Maybe he just didn't want you to know the truth, since you're Gregorys' son. He would have wanted to avoid another retrial before the statute of limitation ran out after all. So what I had come to believe back then had all been a lie. If you didn't know about it, just make sure you know it from now on. The statute of limitation has long expired, but the truth still sleeps, right here. After your old man passed away, Uncle Ray took over as Mr. Master's defense attorney. Although Von Kama also had another prosecutor take over the case. Perhaps he thought that since his opponent was a rookie, he didn't even need to turn up. In the end, the real killer was never found, and Mr. Master was found guilty.
No! Is there nothing we can do? Even now?
Since the killer is never found, he can't withdraw his confession. I found out after the trial that Mr. Master made a deal with Von Kama because Von Kama had threatened him. If you don't confess, Catherine Hall will be held under the same charges. Jetzt. Ich kann es nicht oft genug sagen. Jetzt hasse ich von Karma um noch einiges mehr. Jetzt nimmt er schon Catherine als Druckmittel. Alter. Ohne Witz, da würde ich mir nicht mal schlecht dabei kommen, auf sein Grab zu spucken. Ohne Scheiß.
That's terrible!
I don't think Mr. Master really thought that Kate was the killer, but to protect her, he faked a confession. Miles, on the day that Knightley boy was killed, why do you think Uncle Ray was at the prison?
Ah, I see!
You went to see Mr. Master, didn't you? I said I'd visit him every day. I couldn't keep that promise, but I asked Katie Pie to look on in him for me when I couldn't. Through rain or snow she went, every single day without fail. But nothing has changed, and Mr. Master still serves his punishment.
That's so sad! Isn't there anything we can do?
That's why I came here. Because I knew those ice sculptures would be on display here today. So, what are you going to do, Miles? I'm a prosecutor. My position is different from you and my father. Miles. But, moving past my position, what I want as Miles Edgeworth is to know the truth of these two cases. It is for that reason that I am here. You really are your father's son. Well then, if that's what you've decided, I'll support you all the way. I'd better leave the IS-7 documents and evidence with you then. Alright, here are the documents. By the way, the parts in orange are Uncle Ray's old notes. Okay, cool, danke. Thank you. And now, here's the IS-7 evidence. There's a lot, so make sure to look it over while you investigate. A lot of IS-7 evidence. A lot. Right. I'll check through it later. Ich will gar nicht wissen, wie voll jetzt das Ganze ist. Ja gut, ich hab's jetzt voller erwartet. Das sind ja am Ende hier nur das, das Angels Recipe, wie diese Fingerabdrücke, der Rock Salt Lamp und das Familienfoto von Gustavia und, Dover, mit ihren Söhnen. Hab mir erwartet, aber okay.
Anyway, there are so many strange things about this case.
Indeed. Those involved in the case 18 years ago have reunited, and another incident occurs. Replicas of the statues from 18 years ago were displayed in the Winter Palace, and poison gas was released in the Autumn Palace, which had been disguised as the Winter Palace. The two chemicals in the Piscus case, normalium and fatalium, were mixed, causing an outbreak of poison gas. The victim of the poison gas was Dane Gustavia, a person involved in the IS-7 incident. Because he was unconscious, he received treatment in the Zodiac Art Gallery's infirmary. Finally, the dead body found floating in a fountain. And once again, the ice sculptures have melted. There are deep connections between the two cases. It's possible there are still some clues left from 18 years ago.
Right, let's get started!
Get back! Just 1 second. Don't tell me you've forgotten about me. Didn't I tell you that I'm the one in charge of this case? Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you intend to continue disrupting Sebastian's investigation, the word guilty will be added to your PISC report. What does she mean, guilty? Please allow me to assist in your investigation as before. I appreciate your proposal, but I'm afraid I must overrule it. That was fast! Even though we're short on hands to identify the victim right now, it's only a matter of time until we figure it out. In that case, I shall take that load off your shoulders at once. Regarding the identity of the unidentified body, one person comes to mind. Really? Then tell us! Very well. It's not just the sculptures that have made a comeback from the incident 18 years ago. The body in the fountain is... etwa... Der Körper ist... Die Leiche ist ja nach dem Vorfall verschwunden. Ist er wieder aufgetaucht? It's likely that the identity of the body is the victim of the murder that occurred here 18 years ago. Isaac Dover.
Ah! It's Icy's body?
Hey, who's that? I've never heard of him. Mr. Isaac Dover, a truly great sculptor. But he was better known as Pierre Hoquet. The sculptures on display here in the museum are all his creations. Ah, so in other words, that sculpture was the best! Somehow, I feel a strong kinship to him. And he was the victim in the IS-7 incident. She knew about the IS-7 incident. Wundert mich nicht, sie ist Richterin. Prosecutor Edgeworth. The IS-7 incident occurred 18 years ago. And what's more, the police reported the removal of the body. That's what's on the record. But I wonder if that really is the truth. What are you saying? The defense attorney in the IS-7 incident claimed that the body was never found. Not that the prosecution would ever admit to such a thing. Hello? Really? Is something wrong, Sebastian? No, it's just they said that they know who the victim is. It's just as that prosecutor says. It's Dover. No, it can't be. It would seem my father's suspicions were correct. What is it, Judge Courtney? Have you finally realized that I'm much more helpful than Mr. The Best? Hey! You! Are you trying to steal the best position for yourself? I'm doing no such thing. I just want to know the truth. And for that to happen, we need to cooperate, no? The truth is none of your concern.
Objection.
I don't think that's true, Courtney Pye. You again. Uncle Ray assisted the defense attorney involved in the IS-7 incident. The one who claimed that Mr. Dover's body was never found. The prosecution denied it at the time, but now the body has been discovered here. In other words, the IS-7 investigation was unjust. And isn't it the duty of the PIC to investigate corrupt prosecutors? Then, wouldn't you want to cooperate with those who were involved in the case? Unless you have an ulterior motive. Now that I think about it, Judge Courtney knew about the IS-7 incident. So it would seem she really is here because of the PI-7. PIC.
Wieso komme ich jedes Mal auf die 7? Mann!
Even if you're related to the incident, I don't see how Prosecutor Edgeworth is. He is the son of the attorney in that case, and the prosecutor taught by Von Karma himself. And what's more, he was in the audience at the IS-7 trial. I'm sure there are many points he can enlighten us on. Very well, I will allow you to cooperate. However, your investigation must not hinder the other investigators. The Winter Palace is currently being investigated, but the Fountain Patio is open to you. That's my Courtney pie. Now we're talking. As thanks, I will allow you to have a hug with Uncle Ray. Overruled. If I feel your cooperation isn't needed, I will have to ask you to leave. Understood. Ah, isn't that great, Miles? Now we can start investigating. You really helped us there. Uncle Ray didn't it all for himself. Alright, Uncle Ray's going to investigate too, so let me know if you figure something out. Got it. Right then. Okay, let's begin the investigation.
Okay, let's do this!
We still don't know where Mr. Dover's body and the Normalium were hidden.
We don't have enough information to go on.
You're right. Our first priority is the Normalium.
Well, Normalium is used in washing detergents, paints, and the like.
If I recall, it's a red liquid with a minty aroma. Okay, ein Aroma wie Minze. Gut zu wissen.
Well then, let's get looking for that Normalium.
Was mich jetzt aber auch die ganze Zeit beschäftigt schon, betreffend, dass jetzt die Leiche gefunden wurde. Irgendwie musste sie jetzt kühl gelagert worden sein. Weil 18 Jahre, das ist eine lange Zeit. Bis zu dieser Zeit müsste unter Normalbedingungen die Leiche schon lange verwesen sein. Also da erwarte ich schon was Ordentliches. Egal ob positiv oder negativ, Bewertung immer gern gesehen. Das war's mal, wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Oh, es ist gerade so spannend! Ah, gut. Sehr geil.